Alright team, well I'm officially back in Adelaide. It's 2025 and that means we can dive right back into making videos about this thing. A Nissan Skyline R33 GTST factory manual. It's a series 1.5 and although that's quite the mouthful, it's worth it to get the credentials out there. The turbo sounds amazing, the car looks cool. Of course, there are a number of things that need to be done, especially cosmetically. Now, one thing about this car is the quality of the paint is not great in some areas. On the front especially, you'll notice the front fenders and the bonnet. The fenders are unpainted and the bonnet is a different color, so all of that will need to be resprayed. Also, of course, this. The car came with a duckbill spoiler, which I always knew I wanted to change. I quickly found out the previous owner had secured it with Sikaflex. I used a razor blade to scrape most off, but the rest proved a lengthy challenge. This boot lid will be getting resprayed, so I wasn't too fast and left it there. There's not much point in me slaving away and wasting a day's worth of time when that's just going to be getting repainted and of course sanded back. Running over the car has a lot done to it already. It's got a Blitz external wastegate, a Greddy intercooler I believe. We've got an Apexi IHI turbo. It's been tuned, it's running around 275 kilowatts, 350 horsepower for you Americans. HKS exhaust, which is genuine. It has a Nismo cluster, which is really cool. We've got 120,000 kilometers on the car. It has a front and rear strut brace, as well as a number of other mods. And the interior is exceptional. We've got a very clean, uncracked dash. I've got a few other touches that I'll put in this car to make it my own, but I bought it for a really good price in its current state. The real goal for this car is to make it a real grip, a sort of sensible grip setup. I like the grip look. Drift is cool, but I feel like I'm going to get defected that way. So all we're going to be trying to do is value add. We don't want the car to look tacky. We're not putting stickers and gross stuff all over it. One thing I've been looking forward to doing is showing you my new wheels. I had a set of 17-inch VSKFs, which I planned to run, but the specs were more geared towards S chassis, so I sold them. These are SSR SP1s. Really pleased with these. I got them for a decent price for what they are. Genuine wheels. Now they need to be polished. They've got some finger marks on them, but all in all, the chrome quality is really quite good. Center caps are there, which is nice. All of these will come up really well with a clean. I already went ahead and purchased some chrome tie valve caps. Now these are 265s. I picked them up on Marketplace at 3 AM with my friend Brendan, who was kind enough to let me test fit them on his 33 at the time. They look really good. Slightly sunken at the top, which means we can go lower, but look at the camber. They conveniently came in thick tyres too, which is in alignment with that grippy look I was talking about. We could go really low if we wanted to, but remember, this is a responsible streeter. Okay, so now we're doing the fronts. The previous owner wasn't the most caring. As you can see, he painted the calipers red and he's just oversprayed completely on the actual rim, which is pretty wild. So we'll probably repaint the calipers at some stage, and we're not going to be running these, so this mark doesn't matter, but pretty annoying nonetheless. Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. Not bad. They're a little bit sunken, but the camber really evens it out. I could do with a like a 10mm spacer. I just don't want it to look too hoon spec. I want it to look sensible. One thing I also wanted to do was clean the interior in its entirety. You'll notice this panel now. It's been painted by the previous owner, who I understand had some sort of purple theme going on. Now, I'm not a big fan of that, so that will be getting resprayed. As you can see, these seats need a clean, so that's what we'll be doing right now. In line with the purple theme, it has a drift button, which I'm not a big fan of, just because it really messes with the handbrake. I'd like to take that out and maybe just get the stock set up in again. You probably notice in my videos that my manual skills aren't incredible. That's because I've driven manual about 6 times and I'm in the process of learning in this car, so you'll have to bear with me. The car does have these brown floor mats, which I think are quite ugly, so I'll be taking those out. I took the seats out and vacuumed the whole car, finding a number of interesting items along the way. I also wet vacuumed the seats, acquiring not one, that's what's come out so far, not two, that's the second one, but at least 3 canisters of this gross water.
And that's the third one.
You can get one of these spot cleaners for yourself at Kmart. The damage was only $99. Once all of the interior was vacuumed and ready, I put the seats back in, and at last it felt fresh, clean, and ready to drive. All was going well until I walked out of the mall and discovered a nice Nissan surprise. It turns out one of the clamps for the radiator hose didn't have enough teeth to properly tighten. A new hose clamp did the trick and fixed the leak. Really keen to keep posting my journey with this car. Consider subscribing if you're interested. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one.